If you live in a world where art is frequently overlooked by others, consider what sets you apart from them. The majority of individuals believe that everything they see is art. But have you ever considered what it means to be an artist? And beyond its symbolic value, what role does art play in one's life and society? How will you also recognize something as art? This course is aimed to assist you in answering these questions and to teach you to appreciate the beauty found in all human creations. The capacity to observe art throughout history, concentrating on cultures and people, and how art developed in certain times, is fundamental to art appreciation. It's impossible to comprehend art without first grasping the culture, materials used, and a sense of beauty. The simple act of making art for the purpose of making art conveys art. Every person is born with a natural drive to create art, and training is crucial in sharpening talents to generate art, just as it is in other professions. Art education broadens a person's understanding of art, as well as their development and visions of it. Art helps individuals comprehend variety, how people lived in the past, and how current life and art are linked now. What is art? Interactions between art's elements and principles aid artists in organizing sensory-pleasing works of art, while also providing a framework for viewers to study and discuss aesthetic notions. Art is a broad category that encompasses a wide range of human activities, including the creation of visual, oral, or performative artifacts, works of art, that exhibit the author's inventive or technical talent and are intended to be admired for their beauty or emotional force. The term art comes from the Latin word artis, which means capacity or talent. It encompasses all forms of artistic expression that aim to convey beauty primarily via the senses. Visual arts, literature, music, and dance are all forms of art. It communicates aesthetic concepts via the production of items, environments, and experiences that may be shared with others, using talent and creativity. When we construct a tune, sing beautiful melodies, and dance gracefully, we are engaging in art. There is also beauty in clothing, resting, cooking, and virtually all human activities. A work of art is an activity that takes both imagination and expertise to do. This also produces aesthetic sensations or experiences that pleasure and satisfy our need for lovely things. It's fantastic when an aesthetic encounter uplifts us and leaves a lasting impression on our brains. It is written in a lovely language, is engaging to read, elicits an emotional reaction, and is rich in imagery. A work of art, according to Bogart, is a record of a particular artist's point of view. It depicts what he has seen, felt, or thought about, and has captured it as a design, color, line, tone, or word arrangement that satisfies his artistic goal. A piece of art is the result of the artist's distinct personality, which is impacted consciously or subconsciously by elements such as the artist's surroundings, traditions, national characteristics, religious views, economic situations, ideals, and even the climate and geography. It depicts or reflects the person, the time era, and the location where it was made. Misconception and assumption of arts. Every single thing you see is a work of art. When some individuals hear the term art, they immediately think of this, and several definitions of art have been proposed over the years. Here are a few examples of definitions supplied by well-known authors. According to J.V. Estolas, art is derived from the Latin word ars, meaning ability or skill. Based from Absoluta, art is a product of man's need to express himself. And art is that which brings life in harmony with the beauty of the world, according to Plato. What do you think of art based on the definitions above? Do you believe art and humanities are related? You will be responsible for the answers to those commonly asked questions. After each art interaction, you will discover the answers for yourself. But before I go into the essence of art, I'd want to clear up a few misconceptions regarding art. Misconceptions about art. Contrary to popular belief, even individuals who have worked in the profession for years may find the so-called art world to be just as dark and mysterious. Few things stay consistent, despite the ongoing shift of history and values. Notably, people's erroneous perceptions of what art is and how the art industry operates. Some typical misunderstandings regarding art and the art world are listed below. Art must be perfect. Misconception. Because it's art, everything needs to be well planned and done. It does not need anything more than perfection. Anything less is regarded as invalid. Reality. In the words of Salvador Dali, the most renowned surrealist, have no fear of perfection. You'll never accomplish it. While the concept of perfection is impractical in itself, striving to perfect something that has never been done, especially if it is your unique creation, is much more so. Drawing and painting go hand in hand. Misconception. Because painting is nothing more than a colorful sketch, one must first learn to draw before painting. Similar to how you can't run if you can't walk, the artist must first learn how to draw a good line before painting inside it. Reality. Painting, as Leonardo da Vinci famously put it, encompasses all 10 functions of the eye: darkness, light, body, and color, shape and position, distance and closeness, motion and repose. Being able to draw well does not always imply that you will be able to paint well. In fact, some artists do not even need to sketch on the canvas in order to paint. More colors are always better. Misconception. Because color is all about growing artistic worth and art is all about raising it. More colors naturally equal higher aesthetic value. Reality. A colorist makes his presence felt even in a basic charcoal sketch, said Henry Matisse. The amount of colors used does not constitute the painting. It is how those colors are employed that makes the picture. When compared to others who employ the whole spectrum, an artist may make a painting come to life with only 2 colors and perfect contrasting and tone. Small canvases over big canvases. Misconception. Because logic dictates that small canvases are easier to paint and take up less room and time than large canvases. It also saves money by reducing the amount of paint utilized. Reality. Can you believe it is not all easier to draw a figure about a foot high than to draw a small one? Vincent van Gogh famously said, "It is, on the contrary, much more difficult. It's because size is a personal thing." Finally, it comes down to the style of picture you want to create. You can't take a one-size-fits-all approach if you want to encompass your audience. Painting is easy. Misconception. Because of their skill, an artist should be able to complete work in a short amount of time. Reality. Painting is simple when you don't know how, but very difficult when you do. As Edgar Degas put it, everything an artist performs with ease was earned through years of hard labor and practice. Quantity equals quality. Misconception. Because greater costs frequently signal higher quality, a cheap piece of art isn't a good piece of art. Reality. Everything has its beauty, but not everyone sees it, as Andy Warhol put it, and even the most commonplace artworks may be prohibitively expensive. The greatest ones are sometimes incredibly inexpensive. It is wrong to judge a painting's worth by its value in coins and banknotes. Consider the following myths or misunderstandings. These beliefs have been propagated not just by the media and popular culture, but also by artists. Assumptions of art. Art is universal. Art has always been ageless and universal, spanning generations and cultures through and through. There is always art in every nation and generation. People frequently believe that works of art are just those that were created a long time ago. Age, on the other hand, has no bearing on art. Art is not excellent because it is old, but old because it is good, says another. The works of José Rizal and Francisco Balactas are not read in our nation since they are ancient. They've been read in school and have stuck around because they're good. Florante and Laura never fail to teach high school pupils about the universal and pure beauty of love. With its timeless messages, Ibang Adarna has always caught the imagination of the children. Art has been created by everyone since then, regardless of origin, time, or location, and it has survived because people like and love it. A wonderful job will never go out of style. Art is not nature. One important characteristic of art is that it is not nature. Art is man's expression of his reception of nature. Art is man's way of interpreting nature. Art is made by man, whereas nature is given around us. Castle et al., 2018 p.28. They are thought to be the polar opposite. Nature's beauty should not be expected to be replicated in art. Remember the fable of the 5 blind guys who one day debate against each other about what an elephant looks like. Each of these men's perspectives on the elephant is analogous to art. It is based on a person's subjective perception of nature. It is not intended to correctly depict what an elephant looks like in the wild. It is not expected of artists to imitate nature. Even images and sketches of nature, shot or created by man, are only recordings of nature's beauty, not creations of art. Collins and Riley, 1931. An artist may draw inspiration from nature while producing a work of art, but he must establish his own style and pattern, which he then incorporates into his masterpiece. Art involves experience. We should sense, see, or hear an artwork in order to understand it. When it comes to art, the subject's perception is paramount. You can read hundreds of reviews about a film, but unless you see it for yourself, you won't be able to comment on it. Art is very personal, individual, and subjective, which is a vital component of experiencing it. Art perception is always a value judgment in philosophical terms. It relies on the perceiver's personality, preferences, prejudices, and internal resources. De gustibus non est disputandum. There is no disputing about taste. Finally, it's important to remember that every encounter with art is accompanied by some form of emotion. One either loves or hates a piece of art and agrees or disagrees that it is beautiful. Emotions and feelings are tangible evidence that the artwork has been viewed.